How y'all doing today? My name's Ayin, and today's topic of discussion is going to be stand by your speech. Stand by your speech. Now, when I think of this, I think about taking ownership of the things that you say. Owning every word that comes out of your mouth. Being responsible. Knowing that everything that you speak, your name is attached to it. This is how you begin to be able to hold accountability for the things that you say. If you think about things in the way that I'm talking about them, it'll make you just put a little bit more effort into what you're going to say to people. One of the things that I mentioned in another video, I was talking about this is something that, I had done or, tried to do or tried to implement throughout my life, even through my, earlier years. And just taking a few seconds to think about whatever it is that you're about to say before you say it. Think about how you would receive that before you get ready to tell that joke that you think is just so funny, before you get ready to say whatever remark or comment that's, borderline could be, rub somebody the wrong way. Think about how you would receive it. This is one of the things that I try to, incorporate when I'm talking to people to make sure it's basically like professional anytime I'm around them. I try to, like I said, keep it to where it's upbuilding, structured talk. I want you to have a sense of, dealing with like a breath of fresh air when you come into contact with me. Instead of me tearing you down and ripping you up one side and down the other 10 different ways from Sunday, or just being exhausting with just talking about just negative things. Just, try to upbuild others. A lot of the times we get a little reckless in our speech. And I say we because it's all of us. Like I said in this channel, these are things that I strive for as well. I even watch some of the very videos that I post. I watch them as reminders to myself. I still find an interest in the things that I'm saying, and it keeps me striving and reaching for the things that I'm doing. See, we all too often, the reason why we get a little reckless with our speech, like as I was beginning to say, is because we think that we can put a Band-Aid on the things that come out of our mouth. And what I mean by put a Band-Aid on the things that we say that come out, the words that we speak, we think that we can say something that's harsh, offensive, it's in the moment, we're caught up with emotions, and then we'll put a Band-Aid over it. That Band-Aid is apologizing. Nothing wrong with an apology. I'm talking about trying to get you to think before you do something to where you have to apologize. Because even though you apologize, people may accept your apology. And a lot of the times, more often than not, people that, taught that, when you accept an apology, you move on. But the reality of it is, depending on what went down, what was said, they leave emotional scars. Or scars, period, depending on whatever you're talking about. So let's look at some healthier ways to do things before we get to that point where we have to bandage something that we said or apologize. Stand by your speech. This also means, because I have several people that I've come in contact with where it's funny. When they're about to say something, and they know it's going to rub you the wrong way, they think that it makes it better by saying, I was going to say, and then they go ahead and say what they're going to say anyway, as if they didn't just say it. I was going to say. A lot of the times, it's so funny, too, because when I hear those words come out of a person's mouth, I was going to say, and then, it's that little ... Then they go ahead and say what they're going to say. Or even if they say, I was going to say something, but I'm not. Yeah, well, you're giving off the vibe that whatever you're going to say is not it's not right for the moment. I was going to say not being upbuilding or not being structured, but you know that it's not right for the moment, and you still put that out there. And it still kind of puts a sense of when you're talking to a person like, what were they going to say? What were they going to say that was sideways? Because you might as well went ahead and said it. It's just that person's stubborn way of letting you know that there's some level or some, portion of whatever you're talking about or what's going on between that they disapprove, and they're just kind of putting that bait out there to see if you'll bite. But this bait is a little different because they've already placed that out there to let you know that it's something not right. They're not thinking in what they're saying, and they want you to think on it. So people play these little games. One of the analogies that I was going to use with the stand by your speech, I think about, and this is with me personally, and this is a real world example, how more often than not, get into the car, and if there's little ones riding with us, then hey, did you buckle up your seatbelts? But I'm not. Standing by your speech. Get into a car wreck, I fly through the windshield, now we got orphans on our hands. Stand by your speech. Think of that when you're talking to people. If you've been following this channel, you'll know also that one of the things that I say, more often than not, people tend to do when they get something new, some new revolutionary information, opposed to them taking it to themselves first, they go, oh, that sounds like this person. That sounds like you. Oh, I can't wait to tell my kids, or I can't wait to tell my siblings. I can't wait to, share, because this is something they should be doing instead of them doing it themselves. Stand by your speech. That's all I'm saying. Food for thought. Okay? In the meantime, if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer your question in a video. If you send your questions to ayin.kilimanjaro@gmail.com, like I said, I'll do my best to answer your question in a video. If you hadn't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Follow me on my other social media, Facebook business page, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, the whole nine. I'm on all of it, okay? And I've also written a book, Ayin Kilimanjaro's The Arithmetic of Family Communication, which there'll be a link in the description box. You can get the book off Amazon in a paperback or an ebook copy. Everything I just mentioned in the last 15, 20 seconds of this video, there's links in the description, okay? In the meantime, stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. My name's Ayin. You have a good one.